Puss in Boots 2: The Last Wish. I'm going to sound like a broken record here for a bit, as what I'm going to say next is nothing you haven't heard before. Puss in Boots 2 is an amazing movie. The visuals are gorgeously satisfying, with the animation following that of the Spider-Verse film to give a more comic action style to the animation, along with stunning color choices, rendering, and design. And speaking of design, that is exactly why I decided to make this video. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the designs of each of these characters, but there was just something missing when I watched this movie all 40 billion times. It just didn't fit into the universe that the movie was set in, and you can't argue that, as Shrek is directly shown and referenced in this film on I think about 3 different occasions. So it's not like DreamWorks is setting up a Puss in Boots specific universe, they're just expanding on a character originally from the Shrek one. And that begs the question, why do the characters look like they don't fit in the established style of the previous films, including the first Puss in Boots movie? Honestly, I don't mind the change for the sake of being creative, artistic, and pushing the limits of design and style, especially when the majority of animation and character design is basically direct model copies from Disney's Tangled or Frozen. But Shrek never did this with their models. The human characters typically looked more, well, human, and closer to what you actually see walking around in real life rather than these giant eyes and tiny bodies you see in Disney designs. And that's not an attack on Disney, I just think it's more relatable and easier to distinguish production companies when your characters are distinct to your franchise. With all that being said, I noticed that the humans in Puss in Boots 2 look like Disney character models, which was a little disappointing after I'd literally grown up with the Shrek movies and saw these humans that looked so different from what I was used to in animation, that it made me remember them better, and I personally just liked it more because each character looked different since all the features were altered for each model. Like Rapunzel, Anna, Elsa, and dare I say Moana, they all look basically the same, like they look like the same mannequin almost, and they're just disguised to be 4 different women. And here we have Goldilocks from Puss in Boots 2, who dove right into that group, making it 5 mannequins. And before I move on, I want to explain that I do actually love Goldie with all her overall character and her design. I just didn't think she looked like she fit in the universe. I hope that makes sense. I'm not trying to start some flames or arguments, I'm just sharing my thoughts. But anyways, I decided that since I am an artist and I do a lot of character design myself, I thought it would be fun to make Goldilocks not only look her age, but also fit into the Shrek style of female character models. As you have probably seen in the footage on screen so far, I referenced the princesses from Shrek the Third. Gah, yeah, I know, we don't like Shrek the Third, but these gals give me life, so relax. And Goldie looked most like Shrek's Rapunzel and Cinderella, and that's not because of the blonde hair. They just had the same build as Goldie, and so I ran with that. Goldie's original design shows fuller cheeks, fuller lips, bigger eyes, and a shorter stature, or maybe she's just average height. It's hard to compare with anthropomorphic cats and cartoon-sized bears, and the man, the myth, the legend, the irredeemable monster, Jack Horner. So based on that, I'm just going to assume that she just runs a little shorter. When I researched her character, I found out she's supposed to be, as the website described it, a beautiful young woman that is to be around 18 to 20 years old. When I first viewed this movie, I thought Goldie was like, I don't know, 16? Because of her face. Her head is really big too, so sometimes she just looks way younger than she's supposed to be. I don't really have much room to talk though. I'm 17 and I still get handed kids menus when I go out to eat. So before I actually did this redesign, I took an original still from the movie where I used the liquefy feature in Procreate to basically make the Goldie's face just look a little more like how I wanted it to like really understand where I was going with the redesign. And just to clarify, I didn't exactly render or remove my line art when I did this drawing. I just did a simple character concept art to follow the same established style that the Shrek franchise had established beforehand. Now let's talk business and explain what exactly I did with this redesign. So to work with this redesign, I gave her a bit of a longer face. I didn't elongate it too much because then that would just make her look, I don't know, I didn't want to make her look like the Beldam from Coraline, you know? So, gave her a longer face to just accentuate the jaw a bit, make her look not as young, you know? And I did keep the youth in her fuller lips and rounded out her eyes to keep that young look that she does carry into the film, because I don't know if that's intentional or not. I did make her just a little bit taller, but the skirt does hide that, so she looks relatively the same height, so it's not that big of a change. However, I did fill out her arms a bit Because, I mean, seriously, she moves like a spider monkey, so you know she has to have some muscle mass. I also gave her the iconic DreamWorks eyebrow lift and smirk, which I think I have seen Fiona do in a few promo pics. And then we have our final product, with Goldie still looking stunning, but overall more relevant to her franchise. Again, I love this character, I love this movie, I just thought it would be fun to do and share with you all. I really appreciate you watching to the end. That really helps me, as this is my first real YouTube video. If you've seen my shorts, then just know that I don't do those anymore, and if I do upload some in the future, they won't be like those. Mainly the FNAF art is what I'm referring to. I just don't really associate with that anymore. I still like the games and I'm excited for the movie, but I just don't do fandoms. It's not really my thing. But anyways, this is the end of the video. Comment down bear if you made it this far, don't forget to like, and be sure to check out the description, as my other socials will be listed there, where you can see my art on my own Instagram, where I have character design, fine art, and graphic design. With all that being said, consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video or just the art. I plan to do more in the future, and I definitely will without question if this video does well. I'm supposed to be setting up a Fiverr soon, so hopefully that'll help with getting my graphic design out there, but you know, it'll be listed when I get it all ready if you want to check that out. So thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Dexterly, and I'll catch you later.